What is going on, everybody? It has been quite some time since I said that. We are back live, ABJ Podcast. And just before we get anything going here, just let you know, if you want to be on the show, we're doing these every Tuesday night around 7 o'clock live. So DM me. You do not have to be a professional wrestler. I'm open to talk with anybody. I'm sick of these wrestlers. I'm tired of them. No joking. But we have so many opportunities for people to come on and chat. I cannot wait to do that with all of you. There may be sometimes you'll see this show pop up on a Sunday too, because sometimes wrestlers cannot get me on a weekend, but they don't have a booking, so we'll figure something out on weekends. Yeah, and if you see me out in shows, hit me up. We'll do a 5-question ABJ. We're going to keep this content rolling. There is other shows coming back as well. Tornado Tag is back on Thursdays live on this channel as well. And then you're going to see some of the other stuff popping up, the Banging Beers and Truth Behind Illusions and all that fun stuff. So keep your eyes peeled. We're back. We're grinding. We're doing our thing. Today's guest, I got to meet at a few different independent wrestling shows. A very interesting fella. One of my favorite people, just very, very great character work. I love what this kid does. He's grinding. He's doing big things. From Philadelphia area out of Catch Point Wrestling. Let's bring in Ben the Bean. What's going on?
What's going on?
I'm stoked for this. When did we actually meet? Was it the Suplex Battle Royal? But I feel like I've seen you before that show.
It has to have been before that.
I just don't know where, because here's the thing. I think the first couple times I met you, I'd never seen you wrestle. I think you just came to shows and helped set up because you have that work ethic. You have that grind aspect to you.
Yeah, it probably just being at a show. Maybe one of I know we'd done, that was November of 2023 when Tony Deppen had the Bruise Giving show.
Yep.
Could have been right around that time, just showing up somewhere. But yeah, that was probably the first time that we actually got to meet, and then obviously you got to see me wrestle for the first time. Probably
we were in a we were a team together at one. We were in a match.
We were.
That's crazy to think about. You unfortunately got beat up and everybody else so bad that I had to be involved, and I didn't like that. Because then I got hit by Travis Huckabee and Max Zero, which, if you gave me a list of people I don't want to get hit by in professional wrestling, they are very close to the top.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with that as well.
Yeah. I got chopped. You got slingshotted into a big boot, which looked like it sucked. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah,
so I'm sorry, a little bit of delay there. Yeah, no, I definitely. I
think if you would went in first, it would have been totally different.
If the Wild LLC wouldn't have just been so annihilated that we would have had 15 guys to come in, it's a whole nother story for another day. We'll tell those stories again in high tension wrestling. So tell us about yourself. Tell the people who you are and what you do.
So I'm Ben the Bean. If you haven't heard yet, if you didn't see down right here, little name thing. I'm a wrestler. I've been wrestling for about 2 years now. It's something I've loved forever. And I love having fun with wrestling. So I think that's a big thing for me. And a lot of people don't fully understand me sometimes. So I'm glad I have a platform where I get to explain what I am and get deeper into that.
Yeah, well, let's start with that there. I know we're going to go a little off the notes already, and we're only one question in, but where did the name Ben the Bean come from? How do you get this moniker? And what is the character of Ben the Bean for people who have never seen you wrestle?
So I got the name as just a nickname. It was just, we were messing around. It was just goofing around, kind of just one of those things that you come up with, and it kind of just stuck. Obviously, I thought it was fun to also mix it together with my frame. So string bean, the size frame. So I was it makes sense to have that name too, because you're expecting that kind of visual with somebody with a name like Bean. You're not expecting, 300-pound muscle head.
Yeah. I cannot wait for the Bean transformation when we get you on the gas and we throw 300, we turn you into Alistair Overeem, where you just gets.
I can't walk through door frames anymore. It's now I can just breeze right through.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I cannot wait for the day where Ben the Bean turns into Ben the Brock or something like that. We'll let you borrow Gavin's little muscle suit. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, there we go.
Team you up with abs. It'll be the greatest transformation in professional wrestling.
But yeah, so for the character, it's just kind of the people that you see in wrestling that you've gone and watched and you've thought, wow, that guy looks like a goofball, or you think maybe that guy he's got a lot of heart, because you see he just keeps getting up. He just doesn't stay down. Maybe when he should stay down, but that's not how you roll with it. You got to keep getting up to keep fighting and keep living to see another day, you know?
You need to get like a Ben the Bean Rocky walkout jacket, like
yeah,
just says Bean instead of Rocky on it. Yeah, just like you're coming out for a fight and you don't quit. You just yeah. Well, for the people who we didn't see the thumbnail or anything like that, you are a smaller guy. You're tiny. Your height. You have a little bit of height to you, but you're very tiny. Now, when you go and tell your friends and your family, I'm going to be a professional wrestler, do they say, Ben, what are we doing?
No, surprisingly, because when I was really, really young, about probably like 5 or 6, I'd always loved wrestling. So the love for wrestling has started. There's literally footage of me as a baby. So 1999, I'm trying to remember the exact month, but it's a footage of me watching Sunday Night Heat, and it's Chris Jericho on TV. So it's been since I was a baby. But the older you get, you're like, man, I want to be a wrestler. And my parents said, well, you got to do amateur wrestling if you want to be a professional wrestler, to like understand what it feels like to get slammed around a lot and learn how to fight. So I was like, okay, great. If that's the sign off, I'll do it. And so from about like 5 or 6 all the way up to about like freshman, sophomore year of high school, I wrestled and got accustomed to getting slammed around and accustomed to learning how to take people down that are a lot larger than you, avoiding pins, things like that. And it, of course, built up character and helped me figure out how to, handle myself in those situations, whether I'm, on the street or if I'm in a wrestling ring.
Yeah. No, I think you have a very interesting aspect to wrestling, right? Because it can go two ways. I think some people who aren't of size, like professional wrestling at the end of the day, there's people who look like world championship wrestlers, and then there's really good characters. But a really good character, you have to be a great character and a mediocre wrestler. But when you could be a good wrestler and a good character, that's your difference, that where you cross over, where they can be a world champion because their character work is so good and they can handle themselves in the ring. But how do you find your role of, like, when you go to these places, or even now in the scene where you try to sell yourself to a brand new company and you walk in and you look like you're very, very young and very tiny and your name's Ben the Bean? Like, how do you sell that to a promotion?
I think the best way to sell that for me has been just putting in hard work, showing up, taking care of ring crew stuff, even just helping out with coming up with ideas. A lot of people that I'm like with my peers will always come up to me and ask me for like ideas for things. Sometimes if they're like, Ben, I need a place to come from for this character. And it's like, here's an idea. So I might spitball ideas. So I think having that aspect of being able to like find, background things for people where it's not necessarily a wrestling role, but a more creative role sometimes can help. And a lot of people can recognize that. Or if you explain an idea to somebody of like what you'd like to do, they might go, oh, wow, he's really got like a lot of ideas for what eventually could happen. So maybe we'll give him a shot at doing that idea.
Yeah. Another thing too that I think makes you stand out and helps you as well is you leave the ego at the door. You're very well of who you are, what your style is, your character, and the Ben the Bean aspect. And you're like, I know I'm going in there. I know I'm bumping. I know I'm selling. And my job is to make someone else look like a monster tonight. And if I can get a little bit of shine to make people feel for a second, you won. That's your win for the match. Whether you win, lose, or draw, the second you get the crowd to get behind you after they watch you get killed for so long, like, that's my enjoyment of watching your character. Like, and on commentary, for the times I have done it for you, I just bury you. I just absolutely trash you. I make fun of your size, your height, your look, everything, because I'm selling the character of this. He has no shot. So that when you get the shine and you feed off of that, of like he's doubting me, it works. And it's like we did it at Brewfest one time where I was just like this guy, he's not even off the drink. What are we doing here? And then you got that little bit of shine, and people popped, and then you get squashed again. But it's a fun dynamic, and I think you understanding what you are at this point in time in your career and what you're working to. Like, I'm Spike Dudley, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going out there to make someone look good, and I'm not getting wing columns, but in the entertainment aspect, I probably will be more remembered at the end of the show than most of the people on the roster, because you will find a way to stick in someone's brain.
Yeah.
So when did you fall in love with wrestling? Was wrestling always in the house for you? Were your parents into it? Did you stumble across it?
Yeah, I would say so. My parents were into it back then. That's probably why I was watching it, like when I was a baby, like because it was just on TV. I mean, there was always the video games; those were fun. The action figures, just all that stuff was kind of fun to like mess around with, because there was always, especially at that time period. I mean, the early 2000s going forward was full of characters that just looked ridiculous. You know, you had the Undertaker with all the tattoos, or you know, the giant like the bat wings that he used to have, like just all the elaborate outfits, and just stuff like that really stuck out to me. And yeah, going back to like the video games, just the way that they made the video games just look insane with all the, you know, camera flashes, and every move was slowed down so you could see exactly how this big moment was happening. I think stuck out a lot. And then, you know, later on I would discover independent wrestling outside of, you know, WWE and all the other companies that were around at the time. And I was kind of understanding that there was different types of wrestling. There wasn't always this, like you had said, the championship caliber wrestlers going against each other. There were like smaller guys with like over the top characters that were going at it and having just kind of the most fun matches. And I think that stuff definitely stuck out to me and helped along my journey as well.
What do you remember? What promotions you would go to?
So I didn't go to any because I was too young, and I couldn't convince the family to take me all the way to Philadelphia or Hellerstown for Chikara, or like I couldn't fly to PWG. But just seeing that stuff on YouTube and trying to like go onto YouTube and find any clip that I could find of just what shows were happening outside of like just like a small snippet of the show. I was finding whatever full show I could find.
Yeah. So what type of kid were you growing up? You said you played a little bit of sports. Were you a book smart kid? Did you fit in with everybody? Were you picked on? Were you bullied? Where did you fall in line there?
Yeah, I was the kid that was, you know, the little scrawny nerdy kid that definitely got picked on, like wrestling way too long sometimes.
Yeah.
A little longer than everybody else. Everybody kind of picked on you for that, 'cause like wrestling's out. Nobody likes wrestling anymore.
Yeah. You were raised in like the prime UFC phase. Like.
Yeah, it was one of those times where everybody just finally shifted away and thought you were an oddball for still liking wrestling, because it wasn't the thing anymore.
The craziest thing about being a wrestling fan, then a UFC fan, then back to a wrestling fan, is now in 2026 to watch WWE is going to cost me more at the end of the year than a UFC, because UFC's pay-per-views are all free now in 2026.
Yeah.
And like, I never thought I'd see that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. WWE's like, you have to pay like $350 a year to watch our product. And UFC's like $10 Paramount Plus, watch whatever you want. You're like, wild. What a turn in the universe.
Yeah.
So when did you get your start in this, where you're like, okay, I'm really going to start looking into this wrestling thing. I'm going to look for a school. And how did you find your school?
So at first I had gone to school because I was like, well, I'm not going to do wrestling. It's too expensive. Maybe not my thing. I kind of was like, let me go do some education, try and get a little smart, see if that was going to work out. And it wasn't a fit for me. So I decided to keep looking at schools still. I think before that, it was the debate between going to the Wrestle Factory at the time because I was like really into Chikara. So I was like, maybe, I'm not gonna go. So it never like fully hit me until finally after the pandemic, 2023 kind of rolled around. Was Catchpoint I had seen was posting that like there was a school opening up, and it really interested me because I was like, okay, there's a school in Philly now. It's not going to be like probably a huge class to start out. It's going to be something that's a little more intimate because I don't think everybody fully knew it was just there yet. And I think that kind of was where I was like, okay, maybe I feel a little more comfortable because I'm not going to be in like this big, giant class of wrestlers and nervous that somebody's going to say something to me like, you got to get out of here. So I signed up. I went early, actually. I think it was like June, July of 2023 before we had our first class because it was like, let me do these open house, like see how I'm feeling about it. And I think those moments really like helped me figure out, this is something I feel like I'm comfortable doing. I'm not worried about it being like, there was no pressure to do it. And I think that helped. And of course, going in early, seeing all these different people that were just coming in to stop in and see the school was kind of fun. Then when that first week started, it really was just amazing because it's a class of 8. And we were there pretty much every day for 6 weeks, just training Monday through Thursday. Nobody missed a day.
That's awesome.
Crazy to think about.
When you were signing up and going to the Catchpoint, were you aware of the coaching staff, or were you just like, this is kind of close to me? Like, what was some of the things that pushed you over when finding the school?
So I think that was probably part of it because I know that I think it was probably Drew who posted about it on his page. I think I was like following his page, and I think I'd seen him post.
You're like the guy who teaches me the tutorial of the video game is going to teach me how to actually.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, great, I can do that now. I can, from a video game to real life, perfect. Yeah. But that was always the thing too, was when I was younger, I would look through the websites and I would like comb through to see who was training, who would be your like trainer. Because I remember Claudio used to train at the Wrestle Factory. He was the trainer. Yeah. I remember being like, whoa, like the guy from WWE is training the school. What? So I think those things definitely do stick out because you want to find somebody that you know, and you want to have seen something from them so you can see what kind of things you might learn from them, of course.
Yeah. Header was part of the Cesaro days or Claudio days at Chikara.
Yeah.
He trained a little bit when he was there. I'm like, that's crazy. Like that's crazy. It's like the worldwide dojo before like when it was the ROH dojo.
Yeah.
And then that and like that Chikara school of just being like 90% of what's on TV right now came through those two buildings. You know what I mean? That's crazy to think about. Yeah. So going into those things, were you in shape? Were you prepared for that because of your high school wrestling thing, or did it help? Did it not help? Or how hard was that first week of just conditioning and going through everything?
So I'd say 50-50 because you have the grappling skills still there and you're like, okay, I understand that. But what you don't understand is the actual move. So I think like the very first match I had was a lot of just like the headlock, grappling, moving around. And that was it. Like you're just getting accustomed to the ring really and just feeling things out because a lot of people don't know, the school's ring is a 20x20, which is what WWE and AEW use. So a lot of indie rings are a lot smaller. So you're very accustomed to a 20x20. Then I always say you have to recalibrate at the new ring. Like it's one of those little smart boards at school.
What is the average indies? Is the 14, right?
I think it's 16x16.
That's the average, like the 16.
Average. Yeah. 18x18 I've seen a couple times.
I don't think I've ever seen a 20. I mean, like unless I was at a WWE or AEW show, I don't think on the indie scene I've seen a 20x20 ring.
Yeah.
I've seen a really, really, really tiny one that was like it looked like it was 5x5. Like where literally you hit the rope, you hit the middle, and you're on the next rope again. Like I watched a show in a ring like that. That was wild. Or at any point in time you can tag. You can tag into the match. It was that. It's tiny.
That's we need to bring those rings to every show now. We should just that's the new challenge of just like you have to wrestle in this small
like a 4-way tag match. Like could you imagine? 4-way tag Lucha's tag also was available. Like just fucking chaos. And where does the ref go? Where does the ref go?
It's the outside ref. That's you know.
No, I want the ref in the ring. I want the ref to literally be in the way the whole time. Mystery wrestling, eat your heart out. We'll come up with some crazy shit. So how was the beginning stages of wrestling, finding your place? You said you went there by yourself. Was it easy to make friends? Was the connections there?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, obviously when we're there pretty much every day, you kind of have to become this, close-knit family of friends. You can't just be like, no, I don't care about these guys. Like you're there together and you are this, first class. So you kind of have this like mindset of like, okay, well, we got to keep things together. We got to be supportive of each other, of course. So I think that kind of helped. And of course, once we got out onto the scene, of course, we would tell each other about shows we were going to, or, hey, we're going to go set up for the, ring crew. Do you want to ride with me? Those kind of things were like very beneficial to the start of it. We're just like having a close knit group, which I don't think sometimes happens at a lot of schools either. I think some people just go into it thinking just, I'm going to get myself good and then, get on to wrestling. But I think that's why our course at Catchpoint really was kind of like, it's different, but in the best way. It's the 6 weeks of being together and just learning something with those same group of people. Yeah.
And I've been in situations where I've heard one person have someone to say about somebody who was a Catchpoint kid and another Catchpoint kid be in the same room. And I'm not saying it was like bad, but they're like, hey, he's with us.
Yeah.
Easy. And I was like, oh, I like this catch. Like you definitely bond and stick with each other and make sure you got each other's back, which is super sick. What are some setbacks or adversities you've had to overcome so far?
I think that when I was kind of starting out, it was figuring out the travel, figuring out the distance of travel. Of course, figuring out tolls for the first time, kind of, because I don't really travel outside of the state that much. And I was always worried about I
pay so much tolls on Philly shows. Oh, it's so expensive.
Paying tolls and worrying about having enough money for tolls, because back then it was still cash. Like I was always like, oh man, I'm not gonna have enough.
I just say bill me every time. I'm like, bill me. There's my license plate.
Now it's billed to you. You don't have to really worry about it anymore. But I think also just having my own like mental health setbacks where I just felt like I needed a break from things. I didn't want to stay. Just kind of, I know some people like to keep doing their things and staying at what they're doing to try and distract themselves. But I felt like I needed a break for a little. So I took a break for maybe around a month, just to get away from things, to kind of reset myself. I felt like that was the most appropriate answer, because I think a lot of things in wrestling, I think a lot of wrestlers don't acknowledge their own mental health sometimes, and just kind of keep pushing through and
bury it deep down inside.
It's not good for you. I think you should take the time off if you need it to like just reset yourself. Find your moment to be like, okay, I'm ready to go back to doing what I like, or okay, I'm ready to keep working at this specific goal. I don't think going into it with a foggy mind will help you.
Yeah. What are some key moments or accomplishments that you have done so far in your career that really make you proud?
So I think the Fightertainment show around Mania, I remember being asked if I wanted to wrestle on that show. So that was when WrestleMania was in town. And I said, yeah, I'd love to. I've been helping out. I'd love to be on the show. I'm waiting to hear who I'm going to wrestle. I'm just waiting, going to training, doing the seminars in the area, helping out on other shows that were around, just waiting for the announcement to come out. And of course, this was April 1st, I believe, or March 31st. Was when the announcement got put out of who I was wrestling. So I kind of take a second and I go, okay, they're messing with me now. They're playing a joke on me. Okay, I get it. But no, I ended up wrestling Speedball Mike Bailey 6 months into my career.
So I want you to hear the story from my aspect. We're all split up. WrestleMania, I am at Suplex. I'm at Labor of Love. I'm all these different places. So morning of, I'm at Suplex, and I was at Labor of Love the day before because the Fighter Entertainment was the day before, and then So the day before we're at Labor of Love, and Brian we're at the bar, we're having a couple, and Brian just goes, "You're never gonna believe this." And I go, "What?" He goes, "Ben the Bean has a win over Speedball Mike Bailey," and I go, "What?" He's like, "Speedball's losing every match he's in this week." Like I used to say, it was Mr. WrestleMania weekend, and the whole time I was like, "Speedball's gonna have the weekend again. He's gonna go and tire it up." Lost every match, and I think he started off by losing to you. And I just remember seeing you at Suplex. I was like, "Fucking Speedball!" You're like,
yeah,
awesome moment.
That was probably one of the big ones. And then eventually,
kind of go on that real quick. Now I know it's a no ring show. It's very comedy driven. It's very entertainment based. But what do you get going over a match, putting things together with Speedball, and what do you pull from that of being in the ring or working with somebody who's been around as long as they have and has been as accomplished as they have and has touched some of the best names in this business? And then what do you pull from that when you get a chance to do something with them?
So the first thing I remember doing was just basically listening, just sitting there and listening. You take that moment and you understand that, like, so I will go back a little in the timeline here, but I think the very first week or so of Catchpoint training, Speedball had come in, and getting to learn a little from Speedball there was great. And then that match, just putting that together was kind of figuring out what we were gonna do, figuring out what works well for us, especially when there's no. Early on in your career, you're doing a lot of very simple stuff in the ring and stuff that is very rope involved, or maybe you're doing something off the top rope. So it was another part of the 6-month experience where you're like, okay, now I got to figure out how to wrestle with no ring.
Yeah,
and I think that also
bounce on a floor.
Yeah, how to bounce on a floor.
Yeah,
figuring out the that kind of helped build that character aspect of figuring out, okay, how do I interact with the environment that I'm in and make this fun and keep this fun for everybody around me, and also keeping it safe. Mm-hmm. So, thinking of everything in my moveset where I'm like, okay, well, this is something I would do that's probably going to be a little safer than say, hey, I'm going to do this, big drop kick, because that's not going to feel great for both of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Speedball was so instrumental too for Catchpoint and Worldwide Dojo. Just two off the top of my head of those Fightertainment shows, they really put an emphasis on, hey, Jimmy Lloyd's here. Hey, so is Janela. So are these big GCW guys that with Deppin. But also here's Journey, who they put over. Yep. The Lost Boys. Harleen Lopez was a big on the first couple Fightertainments. And these are people who Journey wrestled, I think, Jordan Oliver and I think Janela and Speedball, one of her first Fightertainments, and I was just like, that's such a good exposure for someone that early in their career, and for Speedball to acknowledge both of those schools and see both of your groups of kids who were really busting their ass, and Speedball acknowledging your hard work and saying, well, I have a spot for you. And I that's one of the reasons why I will always be a Speedball Mike Bailey fan, because they are so selfless. They work so hard to put themselves where they need to be, but also notice, hey, I can also uplift somebody else around me who's working really hard.
Yeah. Words out of my mouth.
Yeah, so good. I love them. Love them so much. Who are your influences and role models, whether it's in the business or just personally in general?
So A lot of my like wrestling influence came from like the Chikara era. So I was if you couldn't tell, big Chuck Taylor fan.
Yeah.
Obviously the Colony, love the Colony stuff. Colt Cabana was another inspiration, just for the mix of the grappling work and also comedy, because I think that was another thing that I liked, was that you could mix the two. You didn't have to just be this comedy wrestler. You could mix your, skill and show like, hey, I'm really good at what I do, but I can also be really funny with it too.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside of that, I mean, it's tough to like pick one specific person. I mean, like I love a lot of like sports stuff. I think I like taking character inspiration from people on the court. I mean, I'm wearing a Charles Barkley shirt right now. I love his just brash attitude in the early 90s of like, there's a quote where he threw some guy out of a window and
did he choke his coach too?
I think he did. No. There was somebody else that did choke the coach. I just remember him throwing a guy out a window and saying, my only regret was that it wasn't from a second story window. Like, just being able to be that, like,
he just got in trouble for saying that a bunch of girls from a certain town are ugly, and then they told him to go on TV and apologize. He's like, I'm not apologizing that they're all ugly. Like, get your shit together. Great heel work. He would be, They picked up the wrong Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone, all those people. They messed up. They should have got Barkley.
But yeah, like Dennis Rodman's another great one too, where I loved his work ethic of like, he was a guy who went for just rebounds. You would see him literally like fall into the crowd going for a rebound, even if it meant like it was still out of bounds. He still dove for it, and just the way that he like took care of the like understanding his role too, of like, if you look, there's one like stat sheet where he's got like no points, no anything else, but he's got all the rebounds for that night. And then like Allen Iverson, I obviously being in Philly area, just watching him growing up, he was a smaller guy, seeing him tear apart teams. You know what I mean? Like, again, you didn't expect somebody that was only 6 foot to.
I took him off in the other room. I actually own a pair of Iverson shoes, and the reason I bought them is because they're also pro wrestling shoes. I got the Iverson 3 swerves. I was like, they're just so good. So a lot of and you have been adding a lot of the Philly aspect to your character. You wear the gritty headband, or you're trying to throw in like Philly colors or stuff like that. So you are throwing that little sports reference in there. You're almost like a younger Weber Hatfield coming up. You know what I mean? Like, you have that sports guy steal his mask and come back as Weber, tall Weber.
Tall.
That's fucking hilarious. Outside the business, do anyone like in your family or anything like that you look up to, like that really helped you in tough spots?
I mean, like my parents, obviously, of course, and even my brother. Like, I'll it's just fun to have people that are like in your corner, and supporting you, that aren't, some people have the problem of family that might not want to be involved in that. Like, they might think it's odd that you're doing wrestling, or they might think that that's a waste of time, things like that. And I don't ever really feel that aspect on my side of the family. It's never been
beautiful.
Like,
I love that for you.
Stop that. You know what I mean?
Wow. Goals you have set for yourself personally or in the industry?
So one of my big goals has been to just at least appear on TV in wrestling. I mean, I get, people want to match. That's always great. But I always feel like even just being able to help out at some point anywhere on TV at a promotion at a higher scale means I've done something well enough that somebody has felt well enough about me to say, hey, let's bring him in to do this, thing for us.
You would be an amazing undersized security guard that just gets that, like, you're part of a breakaway, or like they beat up everybody and you're the last one standing, and you're like, you know what I mean? Like Leo Sparrow, when Wardlow threw him through the cage.
Yep.
Like, because at the time he was tinier at the time. He didn't really he didn't start bulking up as heavy because he was in their early stages. But when Wardlow, he was tiny, and Wardlow just like, all right, security guy, I'm chucking you. Like, yeah. Like, that'd be great. I think you'd fit perfectly for that. Some of those extra roles that are needed for TV.
And then I've started to like look through, and I mean, just being able to travel, of course, seeing new like places. I've been putting this one out there now because I really would love
Speaking in existence.
I would love to work for DDT because I
Okay.
feel like I'd fit in pretty good at DDT. I would hope. Otherwise, I'm not funny enough if I'm not on DDT yet.
Did you just do Big Kaiju? Did you say you were part of that?
Yeah, I've done some kaiju stuff. That's been very fun too. Just being able to like experience that as well helps with character. Just getting comfortable being able to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, don't you guys do I don't want to pull too much behind the curtain, but don't you guys do a drill at catch point where like they'll just give you each a random thing that you have to act like?
there has been times where that has happened, where we've had matches where you're told throughout that match you are this specific animal. So it's like somebody will be the cat and somebody will be the mouse in that match.
Yeah.
Now your moveset is going to be based on that. Your character work is based on that.
I love that. I think that's such a cool idea.
Yeah. And I like I mean, this is straying away from the match stuff, but we've had like promo stuff where we've had to do where it's like, you got to remember the sponsor, you got to remember the name of the event, and you have to remember the the date, because it would be like something long where it would be like,
I need that class sometimes. Like, what I do at PPW? I get a piece of paper. So there's a the posters of the show, the whole everywhere. So I take the poster off a wall and I write down the next show name, the date, and all the information. So when I'm doing the promo, I'm like, and the next month is this show, and we'll be here this date. See you next time.
Yeah.
Like, I have to cheat.
Yeah. So like the drill I remember was just, we gave it the most ridiculous name because you had to remember, I think it was the Wish.com Magic Genie Scramble match, and you had to remember the date that it, and like probably the show, because it's like there's always going to be a moment where you're going to have one of those like ridiculous things, but you're going to have to stay in your character while doing it. You can't just like, I'm going to deliver it normally. You got to be the big bad heel and say, I'm going to be in the Wish.com Scramble match.
The Magic Genie Rena Center 500. I love this one. This is the newer question. I didn't get to ask a lot of people this one, but what is your favorite and least favorite type of fan?
Ooh. So I
like this one.
So this is probably where I'm gonna start interesting. I'm gonna start with my least favorite.
Love it.
And I think that's the fan that will not let themselves just enjoy what's going on. I think
they're too cool to enjoy it, sitting on their hands.
That, or just anybody that feels that let's complain about everything going on in the show. You could have this great big stacked show that has had perfect matches throughout the night, but maybe there's one match that really didn't sit well for you. Are you going to complain about the whole show? Do you even really need to complain about that one match? I think that's just, there's no need for it. Let's bring some more positive aspects to wrestling instead of negative. Especially,
and I think you have to set a different curve too. You can't compare what you're seeing at AEW and WWE and GCW to a bar show at a wrestling show. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to, we're playing with different cards. You know what I mean? And budgets.
I just think that can happen where it's just one of those things of if you want to bring more people into independent wrestling too, I think that it should also be kind of, let's keep things a little positive and bringing in new fans, of course. And because if you're telling everybody, that show was a stinker, is anybody going to come to a stinker show?
Yeah. Sometimes the worst enemies to a culture could be the people in the culture. Yeah.
Yeah. And then favorite. So my favorite fan would have to be anybody that seems to be just glued to the action, loves everything no matter what. Like they just are, they're soaking up everything. Even because I know that I might be a smaller guy and I might do some goofy stuff, and some people don't fully enjoy comedy wrestling. It can be, it can be hit or miss with people. So I think having, somebody that really enjoys that aspect really feels great too. And just finding people to interact with. I've noticed a lot more people that are on social media that I've been able to interact with and talk with that are fans of wrestling, that are in the area and they've kept up with wrestling. And I think that that's the best fan. Anybody that's willing to support independent wrestling and keep boosting it is probably the best, because they're not just saying, yeah, I'm going to go to a couple independent shows, or even anybody that's willing to love everything in wrestling. If you're willing to support, WWE, AEW, TNA, and independent wrestling all at the same time, you are the best fan, because you are keeping wrestling alive. You're not causing any wars of wrestling.
And if we were to look up that in the dictionary, his name is Anthony Fazio. That guy, he literally shows up to place. I'm like, you are 5 hours away from the last place I seen you. He's like, I'm here. He's like, this is my second show today. I was actually at another one earlier. I'm like, you're a fucking nut, and I love you. I wish we can clone him. We would all be rich.
A show full of Anthonys.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Do you ever, when you look at your character and I know this is kind of jumping around, but you look at your character and you look at like what you try to bring to the table, who like do you look at when it says like, oh, I'm going to bring this element out of this, or the comedy aspect of that? Because I remember talking to you a while ago about one of the biggest things I told you to tape study or look at is like old Mikey Whipwreck, because Mikey Whipwreck was the guy who defined that underdog wrestler, or really, really made it special. Like he even hit like that. The Whipwreck has like a theme. Like, I want to go out there and pull a Mikey Whipwreck. Like, you're going to be the underdog, you're going to come back and win. Like, have you ever tried to pick his brain, or have you met him or anything like that? Or who are some other wrestlers that you look at?
So I met him once. This is a fun little story. So for the school, we kind of, we had the seminars during Mania week, and I got to be able to pick up Jerry Lynn to take to the school. And of course, he's at the table at WrestleCon where we were picking him up with, all the ECW guys. So I got to really quickly, talk with Mikey Whipwreck about it and explain, like, hey, any advice? Because I'm a smaller guy. Just keep at it, of course, and just obviously, finding your role was one of those big things. I think that I got to briefly also during Mania talk to Chuck Taylor about. Because so some people don't know this fully, but I've been challenging him, sending out these matches. This was before he had retired, and I was fighting his action figure, because this was this like build up, and I remember the thing he had told me was like, this is weird, but I appreciate it being weird, because a lot of newer students don't fully do anything outside of maybe staying in their role of, okay, I'm going to be a wrestler. They're not delving into maybe something odd, or they haven't fully fleshed out their character. I didn't fully flesh mine out either, but being an oddball fighting an action figure is definitely a little bit different than most, new wrestlers go for. So getting advice from him on that, just being like, keep building your character out and just being odd, of course.
I love showing highlights to Lily when he used to make kids cry. He would just pull up on a kid in the crowd. Chuck Taylor making kids cry is the best thing you can look up on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another really good one. In fact, he's amazing. What are some interests that you have of hobbies inside or outside of professional wrestling?
So I play a lot of video games, watch movies, listen to music, but I do some other sports that are loosely wrestling related. We have a baseball team in the Doc Ellis League called the Kensington Kayfabe. It is pretty much a team of wrestlers.
Lily cried meeting Chuck Taylor. Yeah. She's seen Chuck Wheeler and Orange on the same night at Labor of Love, and she almost had a heart attack. And I was like, act like you've been there before. Calm down. I'm going to put my orange outfit on. That's not helping. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So we have there's a baseball team that is pretty much all the wrestlers that are in the area. And it is called the Kensington Kayfabe. We play in the area.
Who's shockingly the best baseball player that we would not know about as a professional wrestler?
I want to say, I want to say this, but I feel like you should know that this would be the best baseball player / wrestler, and it's Weber Hatfield.
Yeah, I would expect that.
Yeah.
Also, the best hugger in professional wrestling.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Best hug.
100%.
So little, and you get such a powerful hug. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so he's not shocked. Who else? Who was a shocking one? Like who's like you watch them play and you're like, holy shit, they're really good at baseball.
So have you met it from the dojo, Wildflower?
Yeah.
Okay. Wildflower is a great pitcher. Great pitcher.
All right.
You just wouldn't expect it because all I really know is Wildflower's character. So I didn't fully delve into, hey, did you play any sports? Showed up, played for us, pitched, and you're like, okay, all right, we've got some arms on the team.
Who's your big hitter? Like your big power hitter?
So we have we've got Big Calix, of course, on the team.
Does he play in a mask? Because that would be awesome.
There have been times. We have Weber on the team. There's such a good mix. I mean, like Billy Avery's on the team. There's a lot of like people that of course, if you're in the Philly independent wrestling area, you'll know them.
That's awesome.
And we just started the team, so we're trying to get more. Because I know there's like games that are played on the road. There's some teams that'll come from Pittsburgh or Baltimore that'll come to us to play.
We should get a bunch of fans, like independent wrestling fans, to come and watch the team play baseball. That'd be super. And we just like bring the wrestling crowd to a baseball stadium. You fucked up. That would be like the home field advantage. Like if the wrestling fans show up and we're the obnoxious wrestling fans at a baseball stadium.
But yeah, I think I like it just because it's the Doc Ellis League is just a very easy going league too. I haven't played baseball since I've T-ball. So it's fun to not have to worry about like, oh, I'm going to play up against like, oh, I used to be a D3 college athlete, team full of ringers basically.
Yeah.
It's like I can play and not feel like, oh, I'm going to get like smoked by a 95-mile fastball.
Now you said video games. What are you playing currently?
So I got accepted into the skate demo, the new demo thing, which I think they're doing like an early release soon. So that's why I was like, that's why I got accepted. They're like, you're at the bottom of our list, so we're gonna give it to you right before we do the early release.
Oh my god, I can't wait! And that's gonna be free to play, right? That's not supposed to be like a giant MMO style free to play. I cannot wait. Oh,
from what I've played,
I suck at real skateboarding, but the skate games are so much fun.
I enjoyed playing it. I had to go in and mess around with the settings a little to get it like to feel like Skate 3 again, but it's so much fun just being able to like finally have a skate game on PlayStation again, because if you're an Xbox, you can just hop right on and play Skate 3, but there's nothing close.
Backwards compatibility. I actually just turned on my Xbox for a second because I started playing a game and I want to tell you about it. I think it's really, really good. It's something south something. It's like it reminds me of an old school Jack and Dexter game where it's like just like a collect them, like find this and collect and do this and do that. But then it's also like, oh, you learn how to double jump and then do this jump and then that jump. But it's called South of Midnight. So you play like you're like Louisiana, deep South Mississippi, and it's very like Southern lore and paranormal and spookiness. And her mom's house gets swept away in a storm, and she has to go save her mom. But she ends up finding out she's part of this like supernatural being, and there's all these creatures and stuff. It's really, really dope, but it's a really fun, simple game. South of Midnight. That's what I'm playing.
Have you tried out Balatro yet? The card game?
No. What's that?
So this is Speedball's favorite game. It is the basically like poker Texas Hold'em, but with roguelikes. So you go against boss battles. You have to do Joker cards. It's very just like taking the basic game of like poker and flipping it on its head.
Interesting. I have to look into that one. I know. And movie wise, what have you seen anything or documentaries or TV shows lately that you would recommend to people?
I liked the new Fantastic Four. Really great. Saw that. Anything new on TV? Not yet. I haven't really. I don't really keep up too much on TV as much. I like going to.
It's hard if you're watching modern day
Yeah.
wrestling. There's nothing else to watch because you're consumed in wrestling every day of the week.
Exactly. I mean, and I go back to watch some older stuff too. Like, I really loved Eastbound and Down. Such a funny show. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Just a lot of like things that I can go back and like finally catch up on.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I didn't watch that when it came out. Let me watch it now.
I'm doing that with RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm watching.
Okay, there we go.
I'm watching from season 1 all the way through.
From season 1 going forward. Okay,
I'm trying to learn more about drag. I think it's a awesome art form. It's pro wrestling without suplexes. Like, it's very pro wrestling. It's awesome. So much fun. Music wise, anything you're listening to? Any artists that you recommend to people?
I've been listening to anything that is just on like some soundtracks, that like some old video game soundtracks, like skate stuff. I know that my friends and I have started this thing. It's called Music League. So you start it with a group of people, and then you create playlists, and then you give like, I think they have their own generated prompts. So it's like music you listened to in middle school. So then you submit songs onto this playlist, and all your friends are basically collaborating in like a game. Because at the end, once you've all submitted songs, you vote on which songs were like the best ones.
I love that. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's been like one of my new like things that I've been doing. I know we did like the last round was songs from video games. So we like, looked through and figured out what we were listening to. And I think Simple and Clean won from Kingdom Hearts.
Okay. So here's my problem. I don't know like music, video game stuff, right? Like I couldn't tell you that. But when they put like a real live song in a video game and
we would put those in too, yeah.
Yeah. So like the one that stands out to me is I think it's Saints Row 2 or 3, but there's a scene where you jump off a helicopter into a rooftop party and just destroy everybody. But as you're in the copter, all you hear is hey, Kanye starts playing, and everyone jumps. I'm in 21st century, dude. It's like, yo, this is the best song ever for this. God, remember when Kanye was not crazy and awesome and made amazing music? Oh, I always wanted one of those fake MAGA hats that say "Make Kanye normal again" or "Make Kanye great again." Like, give me college dropout Kanye again. What a fucking. Yeah. He's the Hulk Hogan of the music industry, right? Like he just breaks your heart with the way they feel about the real world. Yeah.
You may be spot on with that one.
Yeah. I'm really aging myself. Yes, I'm very old. I know. I was there for the first Kanye album before he was crazy. If you can change something about the professional wrestling industry, what would it be?
That's another great question. I think that finding a variety in your wrestling shows, I think that would be the big change. I think there are some people that might feel that wrestling needs to be always super shoot style serious, and I don't think that every show should have that type of match. I think there should be a good mix up of maybe comedy. There should be a good mix up of like big man versus little man, a good mix up of a tag match. A good mix-up of how you're telling these stories and making your show stand out. I mean, there's a lot of great promotions, don't get me wrong, but I think that like one of the big things in wrestling in general, I think that I would change would be that just mix of variety, because it makes everything look interesting, and it keeps new and old fans interested, because then they can go, oh, I'm more interested in this type of wrestling, but I'm also into this type of wrestling. Having everything mixed into one big, nice melting pot of wrestling. Perfect.
Is there anyone on the scene that's another style comedy wrestler that you would like to work?
This is you're putting me on the spot now. You're putting me on the
spot. I have one just by now with your longer hair, and you kind of, I don't know if I want you as the team. I think I want you to team up and not wrestle each other. I think you'd be fun dynamic. I think you and the Dude would be really funny.
The Dude, okay.
I think the Dude is one of my favorite comedy workers right now on the independent wrestling scene. Yeah. I think they're really, really good wrestlers, but I all match with him. I think he just works so well with everybody. I think used to be like Magic Beans or whatever your team would be like, because he's all about like gummies. He's feeding people gummies and stuff. But and Styles is a really good technical wrestler, but also is a great comedy character. Stan Styles. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like, I wouldn't consider them fully like comedy wrestlers, but they understand humor, I think.
Yeah.
A big one would be CPA.
Oh my God, he's great.
It would be very fun. And then just because of our size difference, and I feel like there's a lot of fun that you can have with that, and because we share a name, Ben Bishop.
Okay.
I think a match between the tale of two Bens could be a very fun match.
Yeah. You and Big Calix would be a fun match too. Like you
Fingers
and
crossed,
Billy
right?
Avery versus like Big Calix and Max Zero. Like
there we go. You spoke it into existence for me.
Yeah, I just think you don't see tag teams that do the big man, little man. Who's the other guy that's on the scene? I'm really, really sorry, I'm forgetting their name. But their whole gimmick is they're tiny and they're undersized, but they just fight super hard. They wrestled at the Wrestle 360 show versus Big Dan. They do the whole gimmick where they're tiny.
Sean Henderson.
Yeah, very good at that character too. Like you kind of give me Sean Henderson vibes too. Like used to would be a fun team because you guys have a similar underdog, fight from behind, won't quit. Yeah.
I like that you said I like that you have the matchup of two smaller framed guys against the two larger frames. But I've always loved the idea of us swapping. Because I've been trying to pitch that as me and Big Calix would be a ridiculous tag team.
What if the bit was though that it's like a mixed tags rules where the big guy can only fight the little guy. So like you tag Big Calix and then their small guy has to get in. Like you said, mystery wrestling is my favorite. Did you see the one where the Bigfoot keeps going in and out of the ring and Bigfoot can only go over the rope by the top, but he's not quite big enough, so he rakes his nuts every single time. So fucking stupid and funny. I can watch that shit all day. I love mystery. That's another promotion you should shoot for. Get into mystery wrestling. You'd be a good fit for that.
I've been looking into it because I know I need to get a passport, obviously, to get there. So just getting that passport ready, and then making my pitch of why I should be on mystery wrestling.
Yeah, I think it'd be funny. Get that character work down. Words of encouragement for a beginner, someone who wants to enter their dreams. It doesn't necessarily have to be professional wrestling, anything in general.
I think just if you have a mindset to what you want to do and you have like an idea of what you want to do, sticking with that idea and just kind of going into it full force. Like don't let anybody or any outside thing tell you shouldn't do it, because if you trust your gut enough to be like, yeah, I feel like this would be a fun thing to do, or this is something I really want to do it. I mean, the best example I can give from my own personal experience was being able to show up to a bunch of shows and help out at a bunch of shows and just offer any type of help. Got me different spots and different things that like I probably wouldn't have gotten at 6 months in. I think just being able to like willingly help out and try and find ways to make things work really helped me. So I think that's another like part of it too, would be maybe just show up sometimes. If there's a show that you really feel like you want to be able to help out with, just show up, talk to people, get involved with whatever you're doing. And I think those things can really help you get what you want out of the thing that you're doing. Because if you don't ask either, I don't think you're going to get it.
Yeah, I totally agree. You gotta put it out there. What are you grateful for, and are you currently happy?
I'm grateful for the ability to travel, to be able to perform, to be able to have people that are interested in my stuff. I mean, recently at Real Rumble, somebody had made a sign for me, which was like the very first like fan sign I've ever gotten.
I have my very first one right behind me.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I think it just really opens my eyes up, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is happening. This is actually happening.
Yeah, It's funny. Every single time I'm at Pilgrim and I'm walking to, let's just say, get my medicine at the corner, I walk past the pole and see your little bean sticker every time.
Yeah,
it's still. I think I put it. You gave it to me during the match, and I stuck it on the pole, and it's still there. But if I put my own sticker somewhere, someone immediately rips it down. But that Ben the Bean sticker's been there for 3 years. Downtown Pottsville, Bean is still alive.
But yeah, I think that like I'm just grateful like for those moments of like people being interested in my stuff, or even people willing to like wrestle with me, because some people don't fully commit to those ideas of like being, oh, you're a smaller guy. So some people don't like the ideas that you might bring up. I've never ran into that problem yet where anybody has been like, no, you're too small to be doing that. Don't do that. Like, I'm very grateful that people trust me enough to work with them as well. I think that just any of these big things that I've been able to do really mean a lot. Even just training means a lot. Like, not many people can be able to say they can go to a wrestling school and feel like, all right, I want to keep doing this. Some people don't fully do it, or maybe they don't keep up with it. They just don't want it. Yeah. You know, they feel like it's not for them. So I'm very grateful that I still have the mind for it and want to keep doing it. And to answer that, yes, I am very happy with what I'm doing. If I wasn't happy, I wouldn't be doing it. I'd be hitting the door and staying out the door.
Yeah. Well, I'm very proud of you, man. You've come a long way in such a short time. You work your ass off. Like I said, you're just, I genuinely enjoy seeing you every time I see you at a show. And I've been promising you this for forever, but I know my personal life was going through some shit. So thank you for staying patient. And because of your patient and always expressing interest, and you also have really put me over a lot too. Like I remember when my car broke down and I was going through a lot of shit, you even said like, hey man, this guy helps out a lot, time to give him back. Like that shit means a lot, man. And you've always shown me that support and gave me that respect. And that's definitely why I wanted you to be the first guy back, because you've always shown that love to me, and it does mean a lot. So keep doing what you're doing. I'm very proud of you. You're killing it out there. Hopefully we get to cross more paths and work more shows together. Please, where can people find and support you so they can, all of my listeners listen to this will go follow you on your social medias and comment, I just heard you on the ABJ podcast.
So we've got the Twitters, or X, whatever we're calling it now, whatever it is. We've got the Bean of PA. That is also the Instagram is the Bean of PA. I think I got to start getting into Blue Sky a little more. I have Ben the Bean. That was the only social media account I could snag Ben the Bean on.
Yeah.
Those are like the big ones. If you want to buy shirts, I'm at Pro Wrestling Tees. You just look up Ben the Bean. I also have on my Instagram on there, it's benthebean.bigcartel.com. That's where you can buy like my directly printed shirts. So everything I've already printed out and like ship out myself. Always include a little note with it. Sometimes I'll throw in like a sticker. I feel like if you're getting it from me personally, I'll do you a solid. But Pro Wrestling Tees will have some more designs on there right now.
Mikowski used to do that. If you ordered from Mikowski, he would put a business card in or write a little note on it. I thought that was a cool touch. Yeah.
And then I guess for shows coming up, the next show that I believe I'm seeing you at, we will be at the Fightertainment. That is the 29th of August.
Do you have any 2Xs?
Yeah.
Bring a 2X to Fightertainment. I got it off you. I'll buy it off you. I'll even throw you on my shirt of the day. I don't know if you've been filming these lately. Have you been seeing them?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, pretty fun. People are enjoying them.
Yeah. So that'll be, that's perfect. I'll get you a Ben the Bean shirt put together. Put one to the side. I always do that. I always talk to some of them like, if you need one, let me know so I can put it to the side, get it out of the merch.
Yeah. Bring it to Fightertainment. I'll definitely rock it on the pod. But perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you everyone for tuning in live. If you watch this live and you made it this far, please put a comment. Thumbs up, even if you're watching the replay later. If you're still listening to this and you're listening on either Spotify, there is comment sections that you can put stuff in there. Apple, all of that, a 5-star review goes a long way. The audio side of things has taken a huge dip, but also, if you want to watch this, Spotify has the video as well as YouTube. And we're going to be going live pretty much every day of the week. Be doing Monday Night Raws on Mondays. Tuesdays will be interviews back. Wednesdays will be Dynamite. Thursdays will be Tornado Tag, and then Fridays will kind of be up in the air depending on if there's wrestling pay-per-views, or if I'm not booked, maybe we'll squeeze in other episodes or some other stuff coming. We are doing pre-recorded episodes of Not Cool in High School and Not Cool in High School Horror. So there's tons and tons of stuff coming. Just stay patient with me. It probably all won't be weekly all the time. Just give me some time to film it and put it out there. And if you do see me out in the wild, stop me and let's film a 5 question with ABJ. And if you see me on vlogging, don't make fun of me because I'm still self-conscious about doing it. But Ben, thank you once again for hanging out. I'll see you on the 29th in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. You guys can all come out to Fightertainment. It is for a good cause. We're raising money for Cannonball, who's just recently got diagnosed with ALS. So please, even if you come, buy a ticket, maybe donate if there's something going on there, a raffle or whatever it may be. Throw some extra cash in there for Cannonball. The guy is he's going through it, and in this industry, you know, it's not always the most rewarding or the most paying, but he has a family to take care of after this all goes down, and anything we could do in the wrestling community to help would be fantastic.
I will say real quick, I think there is going to be a stream for it.
Yeah. As Ben the Bean stream cuts off or mine cut off. I don't know what's happening. Oh God, please don't. Am I live? Can you everyone hear me? Well, anyway, if we're not, we'll probably end it here. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you on the next time for ABJ Podcast. I don't want to announce it, but it'll probably be next Tuesday, and then I have another one scheduled for next Sunday. So stay on the loop up for that, and we'll see you on the next one. We're out of here. I think Ben died. I don't know what happened to Ben. Ben disappeared on us. So we'll see you guys next time. We're out of here.